Everyone, it is Amelia, and today we're going to be talking about plotting versus pantsing. I know this question comes up a lot, especially when we're talking about serialization, because serialization, there are these really long, or they tend to be really long stories, and it might be really intimidating if you're a pantser to think about doing serials because they're just super ongoing and you might, I don't know, you might not know what's going to happen next. But we are going to get into why you can do serials if you're a plotter, if you're a pantser, if you're in between, and then if you're something else. We'll get there. Okay. So, plotting. If you are a plotter, serials can be great for you because you are able to see the future of your story for an extended period of time. And maybe your initial story stops at 50 chapters, but if you want to write a serial that's ongoing forever, you can plot out how you're going to do that. You can find specific times and places to thread new characters and new problems so they are woven throughout the story very nicely. Plotting can be really useful for you, but it is not essential. It's not something that you have to do in order to write a serial. Personally, I don't plot any of my books. I think it crushes my characters and traps them, and so for me, that's not something I like doing. I am a pantser, and that's totally fine. I actually prefer pantsing serials because I know that if I get my characters in a lot of trouble, I have forever to get them out of trouble instead of just 70K words that I'm stuck to in a book. I can make this problem and more problems come up for like 100K, 200K if I wanted to. And a lot of people are super intimidated by serials because they pants and they're like, I don't plot, so I can't do them. And they're scared about digging themselves into a hole. And if they do that, they don't know if they can get out of it. But I have a few things for you. So if you dig yourself into a hole while you're pantsing and you're like, I don't know why this character did this, and it really doesn't make sense to where I think the story's going, what should I do? If a character has a problem, if the character made a choice just random because that's what came to your mind. This is a really great time for character development. What or why did your character do that thing that dug them into that hole? What haven't you uncovered about your character yet? It's a really great time to dig deeper into who that character is instead of just saying, oh, he did this for X, Y, and Z. Maybe he has a problem. Maybe he has history that you, the author, don't know about yet. And so really taking a step back and not worrying, but saying like, how why did this character choose this specific avenue, this specific person, this specific decision? And you can grow your character very well through asking yourselves these questions, and the serial will unfold based on your answers to those questions. And you might not know what the answer is until you start writing more chapters. So as the story goes on, maybe you're like, I think I dug myself into this hole. I don't know how to get out. I'm going to write the next chapter because I know where that's going. And you write that next chapter, and maybe you uncover something very small about your character. Maybe I don't know, likes bees. And so now you have more information for you to be like, "Oh, he made this decision. He likes bees." I don't know how those me personally, I don't know how those will connect. But the more chapters you write, the more you uncover about this character and the more it will make sense. Allowing for your character expansion when you find yourself in a plot hole will really help you because really it's not a plot hole. It's only a plot hole if you plot for the most part. And it's only a plot hole if you can't explain why the character did what he or she did or why something happened. But you can explain because you have forever to explain. You have forever to realize who the character is deep down inside and figure them out or the plot out a little bit more. especially because for pantsing, you're able to thread ideas, characters throughout the story, even if they might not mean anything right now. So you can add characters. For example, one of my first series I wrote, it was a werewolf romance. And the first scene is them at a restaurant, and there's a waiter there who smiles at her, and he's not her mate or anything. They're not romantically attracted to each other. He's just nice to her. Later on at that restaurant, she meets the guy she like falls in love with. And as their relationship progresses, she is not really feeling him or he's doing some stuff that's fishy. And I was like, I need some guy to come along and make her not feel all these crazy emotions and be steady. And I was like, oh, I put that waiter in there who smiled at her chapter 1. I can reuse him and have him be there for a specific reason. Like when I was writing chapter 1, I didn't know he was going to be important to the plot. But I'm able because I'm weaving those characters in there, even sometimes without knowing. I'm weaving that plot in there sometimes without knowing. I'm able to utilize those characters, those plot threads, and sew it all together in the end. Next, we're going to be talking about writing live. You can plot, you can pants, you could do a little bit of both of those things, and you could also write live. What I consider writing live is basically letting your readers help you write the story, especially the serial. And this does not necessarily mean taking exact suggestions or predictions that your readers have and implementing them. You have to be careful with that. But this means using these predictions, these comments that they give you in the story, and making it a better story to inspire more ideas and to maybe like change your plot twists. I know for a couple of my stories, readers have guessed my plot twist before, like earlier in the story. And I'm like, oh my God, like I need to make it better somehow. Every time readers read one of my stories, they're shocked. Writing live can really help you if you're able to do that. Some authors actually literally write while they're live. They will go into a Discord group, a Facebook group, and share their screen and start writing. And readers will actually come in there and watch the authors create their stories, which is pretty cool and a really cool community building activity. But that is the end of this section. I will see you in the next one.